tell me about kind of your preparation before you got into your very first MMA fight. How long did you prep before somebody said, "Hey, we can put you in with, somebody now"? How long was that, and how was that experience, your first fight?
Well, I used to be a boxer before I was into MMA, and I used to compete in the Golden Gloves, and those that's definitely where I like learned how to fight in front of a crowd and got my experience fighting. But then for MMA, I trained. I mean, I trained a lot of years of MMA before I took my first fight, definitely. But I would say when COVID happened, as soon as like lockdown happened, that's when I was mid boxing tournament and everything shut down. So I was still training at an MMA gym. They never closed down. And then I
That's
decided I was talking to some pro MMA fighters, and he was, my someone I always looked up to, Georgi Kadushkavili. He told me I butchered his name.
shout
It's
out.
yeah, I butchered his name, but yeah, shout out to him. He told me he said like just lock in with MMA and take it seriously, and he could see me taking out like someone named Sean O'Malley, which is was the champ at the time.
So, so 5-0. So tell me a little bit about where you are kind of right now, because I know you got the 5-0 record, but you told me that you kind of recently you were gonna have your first pro fight, and then you kind of got injured. So if you want to talk a little bit about that, like where you are right now and your goals kind of for the next couple months.
So yeah, I had two fights lined up. The first one, my opponent pulled out, and then the second one, I kept training, and ended up tearing my hamstring, so it put me out. Um, Then I was coaching the night that I was supposed to fight, and I cracked my head open. I ran into a metal ledge, unfortunately. So it's been like a lot of ups and downs the past few months, but I've done what I can to stay as consistent as possible. And yeah, so my we decided to just put the amateurs in the past, and we're taking it to the pros. June 13th, I'll be having my pro debut, and I'm excited for that.
Where you fight?
I'm fighting in Atlantic City at the Tropicana.
Very nice. Everybody can go check
Yeah.
that out, see how they could go watch that. So tell me a little about this metal pole incident, because I need some,
Uh,
we need some context on it. So what
Yeah,
happened?
so I was coaching. I was supposed to fight that night. Like I said, I pulled out because of injury, and I was coaching one of my teammates, and I was in the corner. And then the round ended. In the first round, I went to go grab like the bucket to go run in, and they had like this metal like platform that the filmers stand on.
Okay.
Yeah, and I when I reached down to grab the bucket and I turned around to go run into the cage, I didn't see it, and I just like ran right
Okay.
into it. Yeah. And then I was coaching. I had blood pouring down my face. Like,
That's worse than any actual fight you've been
yeah, basically, they would
in.
have. Everyone was saying I would have been better off fighting that night.
So who are some of the, because you said you started with boxing. Did you look up to any kind of fighters, either in boxing, UFC, MMA? Is there anybody that you look at, whether it's their style or, maybe throughout like your years you started reaching out to people? Who's some of the people you either look for inspiration, or you just like the style of how they fight?
There's so many people that I grew up like watching and idolizing and stuff, and I like to, people like Roberto Duran, Mike Tyson, Rocky Marciano, just people who are always like ferocious and like with like a brick wall mentality, and they're gonna keep coming, and like they're just gonna bring everything every fight, ruthless.
Oh, lost your camera there, Zach.
Uh, yep, I see something's going on.
You're good. We see you.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, I just always looked up to people like Mike Tyson, where like they go in there with so much like ferocious energy, and they look for the finish, and they're exciting to watch. The don't blink.
All right. Not so what's your styles? More kind of like Tyson-esque, like your ruthless aggression,
I'd
trying to knock
say
them out?
I like to mix, but I love watching defensive fighters too. It's not just like that. I'm definitely a student of the game. I like to be well rounded, but yeah, I'd say I like to bring like kind of like a Mike Tyson energy in there, but mix it with Floyd Mayweather because I don't get hit.